One thing this war in Israel should make us think twice about is our literally insane level of immigration under this Albanese government. The latest estimate from a former Deputy Secretary of our Immigration Department, 500,000 new arrivals in just 1 year. 500,000? No wonder house prices and rents are soaring. But the other question there is how well we integrate in the communities we have already. That Britain's sure asking that question itself, with its protests in the streets against Israel, like this one the other day, with their banner for a Muslim army. Now, what is weird is that British police have stood by and done next to nothing when around them are being the calls for jihad, support for a terrorist group, a Muslim army, although they did pounce on some guys who were carrying not a Palestinian flag, but shock, the Union Jack of Great Britain. And they warned these guys about being racist.
So you can hear me, all right? For the moment, anything racist or even close to racism is said, all right? Hang on, let me finish. Right? For the moment, anything gets anything close to that, all right? People are going to start getting arrested. It's just a verbal warning to let you know we're all on the same page.
Joining me from the madhouse formerly known as London is Patrick Christys, star presenter on GB News. Patrick, those are amazing scenes.
Yeah, well, welcome to the Islamic Emirate of London, Andrew. It's great to join you today. It does appear as though London has fallen in many regards. We had about a couple of 100,000 people not too far behind me here for the second weekend in a row calling for Palestine to be free, for the evisceration of Israel in certain quarters as well, flying things that look suspiciously like the black flag of ISIS. We had public servants out in force as well, chanting free, free Palestine, getting other people on the London Underground to chant that. Can you imagine being a Jewish person on the London Underground that day, trapped in a kind of tin can of hate several feet below the ground? But yeah, the big one is, you're right to point out there, which is there were rallies of people from a group called Hizb ut-Tahrir, which literally wants the establishment of an Islamic caliphate and Sharia law, standing under a banner of which has the words Muslim armies on it, calling for jihad. The Metropolitan Police said that they had specialist counter-terror officers embedded within that crowd, and that we don't need to worry because jihad has many different meanings and not all of them are anything to do with terrorism. So despite what it all might look like, Andrew, like integration has completely failed and that there's a dangerous Trojan horse here at times, we can all be absolutely fine, rest assured that jihad has many different meanings.
Oh, that is such a relief, and that of course allows the police special forces, their special unit, to sit back and have another cup of tea. No need to get on your feet, lads, and do something about it. Very convenient. But your Prime Minister doesn't seem to be upset, or does seem to be now upset with this policing. He's told your police to crack down on these calls for jihad and Muslim armies. What's going on?
Yeah, so he's basically said that the word jihad is a threat to British democratic values, which is nice of him, isn't it, to come out and say that. It is interesting because we're also in the middle of a court case here at the moment as to whether or not a former ISIS bride, Shamima Begum, should be allowed to come back to Britain. So whilst we're simultaneously saying that jihad is a threat to Britain and that kind of ideology is a threat, there is actually quite a significant core of our legal and political community that wants a former ISIS bride to come back to Britain. So we're dealing with that. But Rishi Sunak is saying all the right things. Suella Braverman, the Home Secretary, she always says all the right things, to be fair on her. But he is faring better, actually, than the leader of the opposition, Keir Starmer, who decided to go and visit a mosque in South Wales yesterday as a photo opportunity. The Labour Party always has a bit of a squiffy pass when it comes about who to support for Palestine or Israel. They've come down heavily on the side, not just of Palestine, but Hamas in previous years. Not so much now, though. So he visits a mosque. He gets to a mosque, and the leader of that mosque, the imam, it turns out, can't speak a word of English, doesn't know who he is, and didn't want him there, and then issued a statement afterwards saying that they condemn the Labour Party for not supporting the people of Gaza more. So it's all going rather well at the moment here.
Well, the funny thing about the Keir Starmer thing is that He's done this. He's actually been quite strong on Palestine, so good on him.
Yeah.
But that's upset his party, which has got a strong vein of anti-Semitism and anti-Israel feeling. So he does this stunt. But then the preacher there, the imam, gets all upset because people will start thinking that he is against Hamas and he is for Israel. So really, I'm not quite sure whether to laugh at Starmer or be frightened by the reaction.
Absolutely. No, we should be incredibly frightened. We should be incredibly frightened. I mean, it just shows, isn't it, in a very visible sense that, you know, multiculturalism hasn't worked. The integration there, I would argue, hasn't worked either. And the kind of political mess that Keir Starmer is in now, he's actually called for things like more aid to Gaza. He's called for the things that these people want, actually, really, apart from the complete evisceration of Israel. But that isn't enough. And that is a massive problem at the moment in society.
Yep.
People, to be fair, just don't feel safe, really, at the moment, which is a real shame.
Well, at least the police got the Prime Minister's memo. They now say they've charged 3 guys for racially aggravated criminal damage, inciting racial hatred. They were trying to set fire to the Union Jack. Now, what a wonderful little multicultural community you've got going there. Patrick Christys, always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Andrew.